We remember a fallen Cowboys legend. We'll do that justice later on. This is The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson, presented by BS Well, good morning, Shifter. It is Tuesday, June the 4th, 2024. I am Cole Johnson, and welcome to BS Presents The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. And for the next 60 minutes, sit back, relax, as we get you and keep you informed, enlightened, educated, entertained even, and spiritually fed. On the program today, we're going to touch on your electric bill. Now, how high or how low is it going to be this summer? We will definitely give our respects to the Cowboy legend, Larry Allen. And along with that, we're going to touch on inner peace. How important is that for you? That all is on tap for later. But for now, let's start you up. And here is what's taking place in the world today. An 8-alarm fire has engulfed a construction site this past Monday. That's right, at a place where it probably should not have, in Northern California. More than 100 firefighters were battling the blaze in the six-story affordable housing structure in Redwood City. Construction staff were working on the building at the time, but no injuries were reported, according to the San Mateo County Sheriff's Office. Around 50 people have been evacuated so far, and officials have set up a temporary evacuation center at the Veterans Memorial Senior Citizen, as confirmed on X. Students at the Garfield Community College, or community school, were dismissed due to the blaze, as school officials advised, as NBC Bay Area reported. Zachary Quinto has found himself embroiled in some James Corden-style restaurant drama. Manita, that is the Toronto restaurant, called the Star Trek actor and for allegedly being, quote, a terrible customer, close quote, in a post shared on his Instagram story Sunday. The restaurant went on to say, quote, he yelled at our staff like an entitled child after he didn't reply to 2 texts to inform him his table was ready, and refused to believe the empty tables in the dining room weren't available for him, despite being politely informed they were spoken for, close quote. Entitlement. Cher is defending her boyfriend Alexander A.E. Edwards after he allegedly got into a scuffle with Travis Scott in Cannes last month. The music legend took to X, formerly Twitter, to defend the rapper and music executive after reports that he and the man who, of course, made Sicko Mode famous after they got into a fight at Cannes Film Festival, the after party in May. Cher wrote, quote, I'm proud of Alexander. He didn't start the fight against the 2 men. He finished it. Gotta love him. Close quote. The students of an Australian high school will have to wait for their lesson with Jack Black. Sounds familiar, I guess. The students of a Melbourne high school requested the actor's presence during the Ringwood Secondary College production of School of Rock, the musical. Of course, based on the 2003 film of the same name, starring the same actor. The students began a campaign after seeing Black would be in town with his band Tenacious D while the show was in production. The school posted the plea in a viral TikTok last week, asking viewers to get the message to Black. He responded in the video shared by the Australian Broadcast Corporation, politely declining due to touring commitments. Too bad, Jack. A jury was sworn in yesterday in Hunter Biden's felony gun trial after a pool of dozens of potential jurors spent the day answering questions about whether they could remain impartial during the high-profile case. They also addressed issues ranging from gun ownership to addiction and the Biden family's long history in Delaware. Opening statements will begin today, and the first witness to provide testimony is an FBI agent who was responsible for investigating the case. Hunter Biden faces 3 felonies over whether he lied on a federal gun form in 2018 that asked if he was addicted to drugs. First Lady Jill Biden, Hunter Biden's wife, Melissa Cohen Biden, and his sister Ashley Biden all attended the first day of proceedings. Mexicans have elected their first woman president. Claudia Sheinbaum won between 58.3 and 60.7% of the vote on a historic election day, according to preliminary results announced by Mexico's National Electoral Institute Monday, in an election that saw voters bear long lines to cast ballots from Mexico City to New York to Montreal and to Madrid. On October 1st, she takes the reins of a country that is the United States' top trading partner and the second largest economy in Latin America. She'll also be leading a country that has been convoluted, convulsed, by violence tied to organized crime. With Sheinbaum's win, Mexico beat the U.S. into electing a female head of state. She also is the first person of Jewish descent to lead a country that is predominantly Catholic. Aubrey O'Day doesn't feel vindication amid her former record label boss Sean Diddy Combs' legal trouble. Combs, who has had 8 civil lawsuits filed against him since November for sexual assault and physical abuse, recruited O'Day when he formed Danny DeCane on MTV's Making the Band back in 2005. She says, quote, "There's no vindication when you're a victim of someone. Anyone being exposed or any truths being told don't change the reality of what you've experienced," close quote. She also went on to say, quote, "It's a forever thing that you have to wake up every day to choose to evolve past. It doesn't go away. It's like childhood trauma. We don't like to think it just disappears in our 30s, but really we start realizing how bad it really is in our 30s," close quote. USA Today reached out to reps for Combs for comment. None was forthcoming. A lawsuit was filed last week against Live Nation and Ticketmaster, accusing the companies of negligence in allowing a third-party company to gain access to private information belonging to 560 million customers. The information was then listed for sale for $500,000 on the dark web, and the lawsuit also alleges that two California residents filed that lawsuit this past Wednesday in California's Central District Court. The pair alleged that both Ticketmaster and Live Nation failed to properly secure their personal information, such as full names, addresses, email addresses, phone numbers, ticket sales, and event details, order information, and partial payment card data. In sports, Simone Biles makes even more history by winning her 9th all-around national title this past Sunday, cruising to victory once again at Dickies Arena in Fort Worth, en route to what surely will be a 3rd trip to the Olympic Games. Over the 2 nights of competition, she recorded the highest score on all 4 events, and her all-around margin of victory, not 5.9 points, was the gymnastics equivalent of a rout. And now Biles will look ahead to the U.S. Olympic trials, which begins at the end of this month, the moment when she will learn who her 4 teammates will be on Team USA. And the Olympics will begin July 26th in Paris. Turning our attention to weather across the country, you get all the wet stuff you can handle in the Pacific Northwest with a high of 63 in Seattle. In the Midwest, it'll be a sun thunderstorm mix at a high of 85 in Minneapolis. The same exactly in Chicago. Sun thunderstorm mix and a high of 85. Same again. Sun thunderstorm mix with a high of 84 in St. Louis, partly cloudy and 87 in Detroit. And over on the East Coast, we have partly cloudy skies and it will be 69 in Boston, mostly sunny, and a high of 79 in New York. It'll be partly cloudy and high of 86 in Washington. Down in the South, it'll be partly cloudy and a high of 88 in Miami. It will be 81 with sun thunderstorm mix in Atlanta, sun thunderstorm mix in the high of 86 in Memphis. It'll be partly cloudy and 90 in New Orleans. In the Southwest, which is a beautiful break and a respite for what has been for the last month, but it's going to be a little on the warm side. Partly cloudy and a high of 101 in San Antonio, partly cloudy and 90 in Dallas, partly cloudy and 91 in Houston. Over in the Rockies, will be partly cloudy and 84 in Denver. It will be partly cloudy and 104, as the highest spot will be in Phoenix. And also the highest spot will be in Las Vegas as well. It will be sunny in 104 there. And over on the West Coast, it will be partly cloudy and 77 in Los Angeles. It will be fully sunny skies and 77 in San Francisco. That's your look of the weather, and that is how we will start you up. Well, later on, we'll touch on how you can get inner peace, and we will pay our respects to the Cowboys offensive lineman legend, Larry Allen. But coming up next, your electric bill and how that will relate this summer to spiking prices and how you can curb them. This is the Morning Shift with Cole Johnson on the BS3 Network. We'll be right back right after this.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
This is a BS3 Network presentation.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, W-I-Z-E.
Are you in a life-holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central. Alicia.
You can't hold somebody to that standard if you haven't voiced what you want and what you're needing from that.
Mika.
If you're not communicating expectations, you're waiting for your feelings to be hurt.
Nicole.
Yeah. A lot of people don't want to take the time out to be alone and to get themselves together.
Ivan.
You got to be willing to work through stuff. And from the jump street y'all done had problems, maybe you don't need to be working through those.
BS3 Network proudly presents Queen 3 and King podcast. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central. Welcome back, Shifter, to BS3 Presents The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad the Shift Nation is here as well. And here, as always, my man Playmaker. He says, Morning Shift. Yay. It's an inside joke. But thank you, Playmaker. I love you, brother. Uh, and good show last night on Monarchs of Wrestling with you and, of course, Cool McCain, who's also in Shift Nation as well. Ryan McCarthy, who tonight he will have his show, No Credentials Required, on No Creds. That's CREDS REQ. No Creds REQ YouTube channel. You can catch No Credentials Required tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. He says, good morning, fellow shifters, and good morning to you, one of my most prized shifters. I appreciate you being here. And Cool, he says, Shift Nation, we in here. You doggone right you're in here. And again, and I also saw your special appearance on Inter Sports Debate. That's with my Total Football Talk partner, Drew Willingham. You can catch that every Monday, 9:05 p.m. Eastern, 8:05 p.m. Central, on the Sertoba Media channel, where the struggle is real to be awesome. But you all are awesome. Love all of you. I'm glad that you're here. And I'm glad that you've started your morning with me, because it really means a lot that you are. Now, record electricity bills. Now, stop me if you heard this before. Stop me if you heard this before more than once in a single year. Well, it looks like that people are saying that it's going to probably be a record high again for electricity bills. So how high is it going to get, and how can you curb it? And will your area feel the pinch, or will it feel relief in the wallet? That is the question to ask. Now, in the program Spotlight, we'll touch on all of those things and why it is that we're having these issues always taking place in the summer. Electricity. I mean, when you think of the summer, you always think of, okay, it has to get cooler, and then we get warned every single time that once we do, the bill comes in and we have to fork over probably twice, if not three times the amount that we would if it were the fall or the winter. But it is the literal price we pay to be comfortable in our homes. But they're saying that the temperatures outside this summer, of course, are going to be expected to break records. The same is true with electric bills. Now, they say that the electricity bills in the U.S. are forecast to reach new heights, jumping 8% to a total of roughly $720 or so a month. Or let's just say through the total from June to September. The average high is up from 661 over that same 4-month stretch in last year, and that is from the National Energy Assistance Directors Association, or NIADA, and the Center for Energy, Poverty, and Climate. Low-income families who can at least afford these higher bills, they will be hit hardest. The executive director of NIADA, Mark Wolf, he represents state governments and federal programs to help low-income families pay for water, heating, including bills. He went on to say about the price hikes that are due to come this summer, quote, the dangers of extreme heat leave low-level income families at heightened risk due to lack of access to affordable summer cooling, increasing electric costs, and cutbacks in funding, close quote, of federal aid programs. Now, why are they soaring? That is a wonderful question. Now, many factors include, or influence, to say, electricity costs. Of course, we always have to talk about fuel. The price of it that utilities use to generate power, the cost of building and maintenance plants, and grids that transmit it, and regulators. But the main factor driving up the bills this summer, of course, well, weather. Extreme heat will prompt people to crank up the air conditioning, and of course, the bills will go in an uptick, raising energy bills for homes and even businesses. So NOAA, or the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, they give 2024 a 61% chance of topping last summer's record heat, and it was a scorcher last year. From June to August of this year, I should say, temperatures are forecast to run at least 2 degrees above historical averages across more than half of the country, and that is according to AccuWeather. Now, according to NIATA, uh, customers in all of these states are expected to pay above national average from June to September. Now, those who live in Texas and Oklahoma and Arkansas and Louisiana, they will pay an average of roughly $860. That's an increase of $15 or 1.8% from last year. But that is the smallest, though, percentage rise in the country. And I'm thinking that actually might be tilted toward the small end, considering that Texas has had to deal with a lot of electricity damage last month, and that might actually cause an even higher increase. West Virginia, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Delaware, Maryland, and D.C., Washington, D.C. Those customers will pay an average of $792. That will be up 58% or 7.4% from last summer. Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, and those customers alike will see rates jump, I should say, $78 or 10.1% from last year to an average of $774. And Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, of course, that is the New England area, they will pay $40 more on average to $760 this summer, for a 5.3% increase. Now, if you happen to live, and this is NIATA estimates, obviously, if you happen to live in Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, Ohio, and Indiana, you will pay on average of $581 or $57 more, prompted by a 9.8% increase from last year. Now, if you live in the Midwest, the Dakotas, that's an inside joke again, North and South Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, and Missouri, you will owe an average of $625 or $44 more than last year. Out in Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico, you will see bills on average of $654, or it'll be up 6.5% or $42 from last year. Now, if you live in the mid-Atlantic area, New York, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey, you will probably see on average of a jump of $84 to $691 from last year. That's a price hike of 12.2%. And out on the West Coast and even in Hawaii and Alaska, which would be, of course, California, Oregon, and Washington, you will see a bill averaging around $700, a little bit less than $85 more, and that's up from 12% from last year. Now, of course, low-income Americans will be feeling the pinch most, as Congress cut $2 billion in funding from the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program this year, forcing states to reduce financial assistance by about 1 million households and scaling back average heating and cooling benefits. Now, Wolf also says that many people are in danger of utilities shutting off their power, and only 17 states in the District of Columbia provide customers with some summer shut-off protections. He goes on to say, quote, in less extreme situations, a family can ride out a hot day by opening their windows, taking a cool shower, and hoping it cools down at night. But when the heat persists for weeks or the outside air is dangerous, opening a window will only make things worse. Close quote. And of course, with the summer, you have to deal with heat strokes and heat deaths. Last year, a record number of people died from record heat, according to an AP analysis of Centers for Disease and Control Prevention data. Death certificates of more than 2,300 people who died in the U.S. last year mentioned the effects of excessive heat, the highest number in 45 years recorded on record. Now, how to keep the bills low? Well, of course, you stretch your dollars by raising the temperature setting slightly. Every 1 degree a family reduces its air conditioning, they save about 3% on their utility bill, coming from Wolf. Clean your AC. You place your air filters, and of course, that increases proper airflow. And it is said that a well-mannered air conditioner will consume less energy and keep your home cooler with ease. Unclogging your air vents, of course, will help as well. Vacuum the dust and debris accumulated in and around your air vent. And optimize ceiling fans. If you can set your ceiling fans to rotate counterclockwise to create a cooling breeze, this simple adjustment can make your home feel several degrees cooler, allowing you to raise this thermostat setting and save on energy costs. Now, for those without AC, the government should provide more shutoff protections and funding to help pay bills and weatherize the home. But obviously, no matter where you live, no matter what provision that you provide for your home, just simply stay as cool as you possibly can. And I will throw in drink as much water as you possibly can. Hydration, hydration, and more hydration. And that is today's program spotlight. Now, for topics like this and even more, why don't you tune in tonight and every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. That's Queen 3 and King. And join my queens, Alicia, Mika, and Nicole, and King Doc, as they will touch on all sorts of topics, basically ranging from things spiritual to things relational and things of the, I guess you could say, of the pop culture nature. And, of course, things that are of the street as well. Queen 3 and King, live tonight and every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on Roku TV via BS3. You can find them also on the BS3 Network YouTube channel. And you can also find them on the BS3 Network Facebook page and the Queen 3 King 59 Podcast 59 YouTube channel. That is Queen 3 and King, live tonight and Tuesday night, every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on Roku TV. Hit the BS3 logo on the Roku app, bs3live.com, on the BS3 YouTube channel, on the Queen 3 King Podcast 59 YouTube channel, and on the BS3 Network Facebook page. And when we return, we will pay our respects to a Cowboys legend. This is the Morning Shift with Cole Johnson on the BS3 Network. We will be right back right after this.
The moderator.
As woman, you can't be too friendly because the minute you're friendly, then they think you're flirting.
The level head.
I think so that thing is over. So I'm not looking at men like that anymore.
The truth slayer.
Okay, what in the HPV yeast infection is going on over here?
The X Factor.
So I'd rather you tell me everything up front and let's start fresh.
The intersection of life and spirituality never sounded this good. BS3 Network proudly presents Life Happens, live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Kentucky, home of great natural scenery and Churchill Downs. The Bluegrass State has offered 3 jewels. The University of Kentucky.
And the Kentucky coronation is complete.
Troy Brown.
Some people from Louisville, from Kentucky. I don't like the Derby. Okay, cool. Like, all right, I'm going to keep it moving.
And Vinny Hardy.
Us growing up on the border, we all went to school with Tennessee fans. We all had some teachers that was Tennessee fans.
BS3 Network proudly presents 2 men with Kentucky on their minds and all of the sports matters at hand. Cats Talk Wednesday, live every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central. This is a BS3 Network presentation.
So, sit back, tune in, tell a friend. This Dope Cookie Show, we about to get started, and it's about to go down. Check me out.
Join your culinary master of ceremonies, Chef Jeff, as he introduces to you This Dope Cooking Show. Live every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central.
Welcome back, Shifter, to the Morning Shift with Cole Johnson on the Beer Street Network. Glad that you're joining me. And it is a blessing that you're here. And I don't take that lightly or for granted. Back to Shift Nation, my man, Snowman of Snowman in the Morning. He says, good morning, Shifters. Rest in power, Larry Allen. We kick off our show with a tribute, and he will be doing so 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. It'll be bright and early 7 a.m. if you're out in LA. And speaking of which, well, before I do begin, again, I cannot stress this enough. If you want to learn how to cook something really good and do it really simple and have an entertaining person to do it, this culinary arts specialist extraordinaire is the guy to do it. With his vast experience in the hotel culinary arts, he can break down everything that you could in any type of dish that you want to prepare. Join Chef Jeff with This Dope Cooking Show, and you catch him live today, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central on Roku TV via BS3 and This Dope Cooking Show YouTube channel and the BS3 Network YouTube channel. That is This Dope Cooking Show. You can catch Chef Jeff live today and every Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central on Roku TV. You can hit the BS3 logo on the Roku app, bs3live.com, This Dope Cooking Show YouTube channel, and the BS3 Network YouTube channel. That is This Dope Cooking Show. Catch that later on today, live, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central. Now, normally when you hear any news of any sort, it doesn't matter what range that you're talking about. If it's a shock, it hits you hard, and this one hit me rather hard. Now, mind you, I am not a Cowboys fan at all, but I am a football fan, obviously. And when you hear somebody who is great and who is pretty much around the same age as you, and something of life happens, as they say, life be lifing, it really is a gut punch. So what we're going to do in today's cover story is we're going to properly give our respects and pay our respects to one of the greatest offensive linemen in the history of the NFL, the Cowboys and 49ers legend, Larry Allen. Now, a lot of people have said many things about Mr. Allen. They have said, things such as he's strong, that he's affable and he's funny, and many have said that he's a wonderful teammate. I mean, there's been many good things that have been said about him, but the most enduring thing I think we can all say about him is that he played the sport of football with a ferocity that I think we all love to watch, no matter if we were a fan or or an opponent or opposing fan of the team in which he played. There's no question that the NFL lost a legend yesterday. The Cowboys announced that the death of Hall of Famer Larry Allen at 52 came, of course, with a lot of pain for them, as well as many others around football nation. The team released in a press release, quote, the Dallas Cowboys are saddened to share that Cowboys legend, Super Bowl champion, Cowboys Ring of Honor member, and Pro Football Hall of Famer Larry Allen passed away suddenly while on vacation in Mexico with his family Sunday, close quote. They went on to say that he, of course, was known for great athleticism, no question. I think of play in his rookie season, and I think his rookie season was 1994. Either 94 or 95, but I know that there was a play, I want to say it was 94, I think they were in the Superdome. They were playing the Saints, and Aikman threw a pick, and it looked as though it was going to go back for a pick six, and this pick happened, I believe, on the Saints 40, and it looked as though this linebacker had a bead for the end zone. But the next thing you know, you see this big guy who is 6'3" and all of 325 pounds catch him and tackle him with many yards to spare. And it is remarkable to see a guy that big move that fast. And I think then and there is when the Cowboys knew they had a winner, a competitor, and a man that you just simply cannot deny. That quarterback that I mentioned, Troy Aikman, he had this to say about his former offensive lineman and teammate. Quote, just received the heartbreaking news of the passing of our beloved teammate, Larry Allen. He was a Hall of Fame offensive lineman that dominated opponents regardless of position played. On the field, he was a gentle giant that off the field, he was a gentle giant and loved his family. Rest in peace, LA. Heartbroken emoji, praying hands emoji. Close tweet. Gerald, or Jerry Jones, had this to say about him personally. Quote, the Jones family and the Cowboys extend their deepest condolences, thoughts, and prayers to the Allen family and grieve along with the many other friends and Cowboys teammates that also love Larry. Close quote. Allen played 14 seasons in the NFL, 12 with Dallas, the final 2 with the 49ers. And he came from Sonoma State out in California, and it was in 94. And he became a fixture at guard and was a starter, of course, for the Super Bowl champion Cowboys the very next year. 11-time Pro Bowl, and a 6-time first-team All-Pro. Allen was named NFL's All-Decade Team in both the 2000s and the 1990s. Now, he was inducted to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2013, which was his first year of eligibility, which, of course, if for those who are unaware about how this works, a guy who is elected in his first year of eligibility basically is considered first ballot. And if you consider a first ballot Hall of Famer when you're playing, you're considered one of the elite players. And Larry Allen was the elite of the elite. I don't care if you are or not a Cowboys fan. A truth is the truth. And he was also voted to the league's all-century team as part of the NFL celebration of his 100th anniversary back in 2019. Now, I think his biggest enduring legacy is he was known for his otherworldly strength. With ease, he could bench press 700 pounds, which understandably made him one of the more intimidating players to ever grace the gridiron. Unfortunately, though, that wasn't all to his gifts. And I mentioned, of course, that tackle in his rookie season, the 6'3", 335 pound. I'm sorry, I shortchanged you 10 pounds, my brother. He was exceptionally light on his feet, making him a devastating blocker on sweeps and pulls. The guy who might even run down a defender after an interception, which I just talked about earlier. And this is important for you to understand. I'm a former offensive lineman myself. The gift in being an offensive lineman that could play for years on end is not necessarily the strength up here. It's the dexterity with your feet. If you're a statue, no, you won't last long. But if you're able to move, even if it sweeps or pulls, that's cool. But even if it's not about that, if you can move your feet and get in position, that is a key sign that you will be in the NFL as an offensive lineman for a long time. So he had those feet. And if you have active feet, plus that strength that he has, you will rarely see him off his feet. Now, though he spent the bulk of his career at guard, Allen was a versatile man. I mean, he could play left tackle and did so at an elite level when asked. Now, of course, he was on a team with Troy Aikman, as I mentioned, with, of course, tailback Emmitt Smith, wide receiver Michael Irvin. And of course, in 95, you have to bring on Deion Sanders as well. Allen had a legitimate case as the Cowboys' best player during his prime years, and almost would come close to actually having that claim even as a rookie second-year player. Not quite, but close to. Emmett had this to say about the guy who helped him create a lot of those holes that led him to over 18,000 yards in his career. Quote, "I'm at a loss for words right now. Such a good dude. Great player, super person. It just breaks my heart. The one thing about Larry Allen I know, he had a big heart, and he lived life to the fullest. A man of very few words, but on the football field was a beast." Close quote. Larry Allen, definitely a legend, Pro Football Hall of Famer, a gentle giant, dead at the age of 52. And that is today's cover story. When we return, how to get and maintain inner peace. This is the Morning Shift with Cole Johnson on the BSC Network. We'll be right back right after this.
This is a BS3 Network presentation. Adrian Shawan.
There was a man talking about where the homebodies at, where the women at, and the women was stitching it. It was like, we at home.
Scotty Knox.
Another pet peeve of mine, right? First date, if you show up with the ponytail that come out at the top of your head, it will not be a second date.
Butler.
I want people to think independently and freely. She's not. $100 for lunch. I almost got up and walked off.
A show that asks only one question. Is it Wednesday yet? Live every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 p.m. Central.
See everybody talking like they doing what we doing, but these brothers is rare and they ain't moving like we moving, and everywhere we go.
Oh, yes. The tradition, the pageantry, the spectacle, the history, the slut. Wait. I gotta rep my brother's stuff right. All my DMV soldiers, stand up! And welcome to the Commander's Gridiron Report. You want your commanders to be repped right? Well, D. Willie is your man. Commander's Gridiron Report. Every Tuesday at 11:05 a.m. Eastern, 10:05 a.m. Central on the Sotoba Media YouTube channel. Music by J. Cool.
Where my soldiers? Right side. Commanders. Where my soldiers? Left side.
Are you looking for something to do on your lunch break? Well, there's a show on the BS3 Network that has only 4 words to say to you.
We ready. We ready. We ready for y'all. We ready. We ready. We ready for y'all.
The Lunch Break, powered by JM&E. Live weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central.
Welcome back to the Morning Shift with Cole Johnson on the BSC Network. I'm glad you're here, Shifter. And we're going to shift very quickly right now. And all of us, I really believe, want to have inner peace. I don't care on what walk of life you are. I don't care how your life is. You want to have that inner peace. So you ask that question, how can you get it and how can you maintain it? Well, here's lighting the way. Inner peace. I think that is something that we all strive to want. We want to have it, we seek it, and I think we always want to get it and we want to maintain it. And when we don't have it, we feel it. And when we do have it, I think sometimes we don't recognize it because life just keeps going at a rapid pace. But I think this is how you can get and keep that inner peace. And this is how you can do it. So Isaiah, of course, he was one of the biggest prophets that God had. He was charged with God in passing this down to the people of Israel, and he said to him, quote, "You keep him," and him being the Lord, "in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts you in you." Close quote. Perfect peace. It almost seems like it's a far-fetched idea. Like you reach out and it's almost like that meme where it's like, or a GIF where it's like, you're reaching and that thing is almost there, but you never quite can grab it. But it is attainable. Definitely it's attainable. And it's attainable because you focus on God. That is how perfect peace is established and maintained. It's like Peter walking on water when Jesus was out in Galilee in the middle of the water, and Peter was like, "Can I do like you, Jesus? Is it possible that I can walk on water like you?" And Jesus was like, "Come on, come to me." And Peter recognized when he got out the boat, walked on water, he realized he was actually walking on water. And then when he realized that he looked to the left and right, and all of a sudden he started to go lower and lower and lower into the water. So I think that's a really good understanding of what perfect peace is. You lock on Jesus, you get on perfect peace ground. But if you put your eyes off of it and you think of anything else, well, that's when all the peace goes all the way gone. Focus on God and perfect peace is right there. And again, the parable of Peter walking on water, looking at Jesus, that is a mark of what we have to do in keeping maintaining perfect peace. We have to think on those heavenly things. And there's a scripture that says, set your mind on things on heavenly things, or set your minds on things of heaven, not on things on the earth. That's what we have to do. We have to just keep looking at God and keep looking at God. And that's how you will establish that peace. And that's how you'll maintain that peace. And you have to understand, that's what God is. God is many things, but God is love, obviously, and his presence is peace. So that's just how he operates. He operates at peace. And he trusts you, if you can just simply keep your eye on him. Just think about Peter being on water. If you were Peter and that you were in that same situation and you didn't think about the water, you didn't think about the ridges, you didn't think about the mountains, scenery, you didn't think about the wind, you didn't think about if it was cold or warm, you didn't focus on anything else but Jesus. There it is right there. And if Jesus knows you can do that, that's where the trust comes from him to you. And you think about that. You don't have to think about anything else. Just thinking about God, thinking about Jesus. Now, how do you feel? Just at this moment, Shifter, how do you feel now? You feel relaxed. You feel joyous. You feel successful because you're doing something that ordinary people really don't do. They don't get into that place of, as they say, Zen, but I just say that place of peace where nothing can disturb it, nothing can throw you off. That is the key. Focus on God. Keep your eyes on Jesus. Think like Peter think like Peter walking on water. Look at Jesus, and you keep looking at him. You keep looking at him. You keep looking at him, and you never, ever, ever get your eye off him. And that is how you get and stay in perfect peace. Well, that is all the time I have, Shifter. Thank you so much for joining me. And look, thank you, Shift Nation. And thank you, Shifter. I am blessed to have you here in my life. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for commenting. And thank you for hitting the notification bell so you can catch everything that comes from the BS3 Morning Shift Cole Johnson YouTube channel. That's the BS3 Morning Shift Cole Johnson YouTube channel. For all of us here at the BS3 Network and the Morning Shift, I am Cole Johnson, here to say, imparting as I always do. If you lack commitment, you will never start. If you lack consistency, you'll never finish. And if you lack love, you most certainly will never conquer. Until we meet again in 23 hours, be blessed, Shifter. So long.